Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this is my morning coffee show. How y'all doing today? I hope you're all doing swell because today is Wednesday, the 10th of May, and we are almost close to summer, and it is going to be a good time. So what are we talking about today? Well, today I want to talk about, it's focusing, cool. Kind of getting into focus. Today I want to talk about Resident Evil 4, the remake. I recently bought it a couple of days ago, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think this game is 100% absolutely pretentious. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this game is good. Don't get me wrong. This game is absolutely fun. This game is absolutely... it's gorgeous looking. It plays well. But I think it's pretentious in certain areas. So, what can I say about this game? And I want to be quick with this, too. I want to talk about certain elements about this game and just what I really think about remakes in general. I don't mind remakes when they're called remakes, when they actually are remakes. And I want to be honest with everybody here. The Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and this game are not remakes, they're fucking reimagines. Can people stop changing the definition of words? If you look at this game, it's not a remake, it's a reimagine. They're reimagining the events of the entire game. No longer are we getting moments in the game where it's, reasonable. We're getting moments where it's just like, it's this kind of bullshit where it's like, oh, well, it's a remake. No, Resident Evil 1 remake was a fucking remake. They didn't change anything. They enhanced a ton of shit. They didn't change anything up. They didn't really, change anything up, and it really wasn't a shot for shot. It was a shot for shot, but it was like... But they changed certain shots and they changed certain events. Like, yes, Jill almost gets flattened and Barry makes the sandwich comment. Yes, Chris meets Rebecca. Richard gets bitten by the snake, but this time he gets saved, and he saves your ass by either, depending who you play as, gets eaten by the snake or the shark. They added a new thing, Lisa Trevor and Crimson Heads. Okay, cool. But they didn't change anything else. They didn't add some bullshit. They didn't try to sound pretentious and sound like, oh, well, we need to make it more serious and more gritty and realistic. I don't like these new games because that's the problem with modern Capcom. I don't play the games just because of realism. I play them because I like good old-fashioned horror, and it's a B movie. Let's be honest about it. Resident Evil has always been a B movie. This tries to be pretentious in that sense of just, oh, we're gonna be, more deep and dark, and we're gonna go into the psychological area of Leon and all that. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not. How would I put it? This game adds way too much shit and just takes away a lot more too as well. Like, I know people are like, you're gonna be like, oh, you can't look up Ashley's skirt, which is one of those things. I'm just like, no, that's not the point here. Like, but I'll get into what I'm just gonna be talking about. Okay, I want to talk about the gameplay real quick. It's fine, it's fun, but I think there's a lot of things that I think are just obnoxious. I'm going to start off with the obvious. I don't like the knife breaking thing. I think it was fine in Resident Evil 2 for the most part. I do think it was a little pretentious there with the fact that they just looked at Resident Evil 1. It's like, oh, they have defensive weapons. Let's put it in this game. The reason why that works and I like that better is the fact that they separate it. The knife has always been kind of like this kind of weapon that people either love or hate. And I like the knife. I think the knife works. But the breaking thing is kind of obnoxious because it's just it breaks way too often, and I'm just thinking to myself, you just cut into a goddamn fleshy monster. You didn't cut into metal, which honestly, okay, fine. But Leon's a special agent in this goddamn game. Can he just get a really decent knife? Can he just get a fucking knife that is goddamn durable? And I know people's arguments for this would be, oh, you'd be cheesing it. If I could cheese it, half the time I'm fighting guys who are just, this is the thing that I love about the original and QuickTime events. That was the only game that quick time events work. Hell, even God of War did it pretty better. There's a lot of games out there who did quick time events as well. And I love how people are just complaining about that. I don't like quick time events. I don't like tank controls. I'm like, yo, then don't play the fucking game. They didn't make it accessible to you. Now they're making it accessible to you, and now it's bland. It's just boring. It's just like neutered, if I were to say so. Another thing I can't stand about this game is the difficulty setting. It's like it's kind of insulting a little bit. The way they kind of tell you, like, oh, well, if you played this game on hardcore, that's for the original Resident Evil fans. And it's like, I did, and it's like a little bit unfair. Like, I shot so many people in the goddamn head that they just kind of like brushed it off like it was just a Sunday breeze. And then other times they just, oh, wait, I forgot, bullets do hurt. It's like, because they want you to use that parry mechanic, which I think is just the dumbest fucking thing ever. And before you say anything about this, well, the other game was unrealistic. Like, it's supposed to be unrealistic. It's supposed to be a fucking fantasy game. The more we try to go for realism, the more we separate from realism. It's like, hey, this is a dark, gritty, realistic thing. Then tell me how blocking a fucking chainsaw with a knife is realistic. Or better yet, when you're fighting the big bosses and, like, you have to press the parry button, which, by the way, you don't see it when it happens, and you just end up pressing the button just being like an idiot. I kind of do miss the button prompts when they showed up big and nice and big, but it didn't take away from the gameplay whatsoever or distract you. And that's another thing. I'll get into that in a moment with the bosses. The bosses in that are just kind of obnoxious. Every boss has to fucking, continuously speak after they mutate. You will never defeat us. We're changed, and I must speak and keep talking and talking and talking. Shut the fuck up and just mutate and fight me. Stop monologuing. You're done monologuing. It continuously, rapidly talking. It's like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and fight me. Especially with, like, the 3 mutation, like, actually, no, everybody, including Krauser. I don't remember Krauser speaking much to me. He was like, run, Leon. Just kind of saying a few, like, quick lines, and that's it. That's another thing, too. This game does way too much. Like, the original, I think, is, the reason why I think the original is perfect in every way, because enough is just enough. They just put enough in there to satisfy you. This game, on the other hand, just decides to do more. Let's just do extreme, more. It's like, enough. Did we really need a guy with a cow head coming after you with a sledgehammer, or which I love in like later in the game, a automatic crossbow shooter? I prefer the Gatling gun. You know why? Because it's more intimidating. But no, we need that guy with the cow head on, because God forbid we, just have chainsaw guy and, some other monster. Like, that's it. Like, we didn't need, another freaking goddamn thingy in there. It's like, or a guy who just summons people's heads to explode with the parasites coming out. Which I'll give you the credit. There's some cool things in it, especially when you, like, blow somebody apart, you can see the parasites kind of leaking through and stuff like that. That's cool and interesting. But other times it's just kind of obnoxious. And especially playing this on replay. I've recently beat it too, so replaying this, I found some moments obnoxious, especially getting into the village. I was like, okay, replaying that village part was going to be cool. I thought it was going to be excellent. Blasting a little bit of Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, like a hardcore Henry. But it just ends quickly after you kill a certain amount of people. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and you can't, the game doesn't want you to have any fun. It needs to tell that story because story's more important. God, it's like, this is the problem I see with modern gaming nowadays. Thanks to The Last of Us, gameplay takes a step back to story. And honestly, this is why I'm saying this game is pretentious, because guys, your story's about, and again, when people talk about realism, guys, your story is about a virus or parasite or some kind of biological weapon that turns people into monsters. You can you can be a humorous a little bit. Or if they are, like, and this is another thing too. If they try to be like, a little bit ridiculous. Like, yeah, in the first game, like somebody was jumping on a chandelier to get to another spot. They have to make a comment about that. It's like that game, High on Life. I think the game is called, or Life is Strange, or whatever the fuck it's called. That Rick and Morty game. It's kind of obnoxious. They keep talking and commenting and talking and talking. It's like, shut the fuck up and let me play the fucking game. I'll get into Ashley in just a moment, because that's another fucking aspect of this game I absolutely don't fucking love. Anybody who said Ashley was annoying in the original game needs to shut the fuck up, because you are poor at playing this fucking game. I think the original does this better. Ashley is when you tell her to follow, she follows. When you tell her to wait, she waits. Here it's, stay close to me, stay far behind. Why would you tell her to stay far behind from you? Like, she runs around like a goddamn person with schizophrenia a little bit. She runs around like it's, she's like, oh no, help me, Leon. She's annoying. More annoying in this than the original. In the original, she was fine. You told her to wait in a dumpster, she waited in a goddamn dumpster. You told her to wait in a, you told her to wait somewhere to be safe and so you could explore somewhere. She did. In this, she's like, oh, I have to help Leon, and I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't like it. I was like, every time she died, I was like, good, fine, fuck it. I don't care for the president's daughter. I don't care if it's the president's daughter anyway. Fuck her, And I'm gonna be honest. And again, it's like, it's stupidity, and then just the story too, like how everything has to tie in together and all this stuff, and just the way motivations go. I liked it when bad guys were just bad guys. Like, Krauser was a good bad, like, not Krauser, Sadler. He's just like, he just drones. He just drones on about his religion, and you're making him more sympathetic than he should be. He's not a sympathetic villain. He is a bastard. He is an absolute maniacal bastard. Like, this is a guy, like, the sinisterism of him in the original game was so much scarier, much more intense. Here, he comes off trying to be sympathetic, and especially with his boss fights, he starts talking about, you insolent child, you must, blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up, just mutate and shut the fuck up and fight me. Which, another thing, too, I hate about boss fights in modern games nowadays. Can I just have a boss fight between me and the boss without insects flying in or extra guys coming in? It's like, hey, if you want to have a boss fight with me, have a boss fight with me. Don't send in your other goons like it's a Batman game, okay? Or better yet, my favorite with Krauser, where he mutates, but no, we have to have a horror theme into it. Or, the fact that he gets an extra hand to fight you with, and he grabs, I hate that head grab move. It's like, dude, just use your blade thing. I think the original game was a little bit more intense and did it better. I don't care if it's like, well, you could have cheesed it. Like, enough. That's the point of gaming, okay? I'm sorry, but also I'm going to throw this in there too. I don't like The Last of Us. Neither 1 or 2. Like, it's a pretentious fucking game, to be honest with you. Hey, maybe the monsters are the monsters in this world, okay? Yes, people can be bad. Yeah, people can be bad, but Resident Evil did that too, by the way. Where they showed some Umbrella employee trying to take the virus and sell it. Yeah, of course they can be douchebags in this, but let's be honest. I'd rather be fighting the monster and not really care about some geopolitical thing. I mean, all these games have this fucking, like, either we're gonna save the world, like, Resident Evil 2 did the same thing with, like, we have to save the world. Like, how about just surviving? Like, in the original game, nobody gave a shit. Like, okay, I gotta get out of this fucking situation. You unravel that mystery of, like, what was going on. You started in the police station, and then you worked your way into an industrial, like, laboratory, which I honestly, like, think the original game does that even better. But I'll talk about that in another video. Resident Evil 3, same thing. Raccoon City's fucking doomed. Finding a cure is kind of like a little late for, is a little late to the party. I mean, look, it's nice to find that cure and save the day, but, like, let's be honest, Raccoon City just needed to be nuked. And then you get to Resident Evil 4, which I'm like, I don't like. We know Leon's like has suffered from trauma and stuff like that, but like the dude is so used to seeing biological weapons, it's not even funny. And I want to talk about Leon in this too. He is treated like a joke, an absolute joke. Yeah, he's a fucking tough guy, but everybody treats him like Krauser, Ada. Especially with Krauser. He keeps calling him, which, by the way, I hate Krauser in this game. The original did it so much better. He's like, hey, come on, rookie. Yeah, come on, rookie. I'm going to fight you. I'm Popeye from Popeye. I'm one of the Popeye kids. It's like, shut up. And he's one of those people he's one of those characters who's like, well, my government betrayed me. Now I'm going to betray them. It's like, you're surprised by that? Come on. But then you've got, in the original game, he was just badass and more respectful, too. He was badass and more respectful. It's been a long time, comrade. Called him comrade, not rookie, not some, like, weak boy. Called him comrade. And Leon was so badass in that game. Just the way he took out his knife, knowing that Krauser was just right behind him. That's what I love about that original game. Leon evolved from being the rookie cop to a badass secret agent. Like, I believe Leon could have taken on that army of, like, parasite-infected people rather than this Leon. This Leon, again, everybody, with the dialogue, just let me shut up and let me play the game. And also the fact that they take away your control for this kind of this thing I hate about the game, where the game just suddenly has to take away control from you and make you do what you need to do. It's like, look, I get it. The game is telling me what I have to do and all this stuff, but like, in the original game, like, and even like older games, like, they didn't take away the control from you for a second, or had the codec calls, where it's like, they didn't make you stop and do the ear thing where you're walking around like this, and it's like, oh, just get to the fucking point. Just get to the fucking... In the original, you did have to do that, but it was like having a good break in between. You didn't have to wait until the game was like, oh, we gotta take away the controls for a minute. Oh, we're gonna make you look at something real quick. I have the free range with the camera, which is another thing I hate about these modern Resident Evil games. Don't give me the control of my camera. Please, limit my control. That's what made those older games scarier. That's what made those older games scary in the beginning. And, everybody else is just kind of bland, too. Like, I mean, like, Leon's still kind of like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta save the day, oh my god, it's like, enough, I don't care, just get to the fucking point. And that's another thing, this game doesn't let you breathe. It has to keep throwing new things at you constantly. And I'm talking about certain areas. It's like, okay, I can't just go into here without another enemy attacking me, or this attacking me, or that attacking me, or Ashley needs help getting back up. It's like, shut the fuck up. Just get to the fucking point, you pretentious fucking game. You're not The Last of Us, which, by the way, I wish people would just look at The Last of Us and go, this game's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but it is. It is. Shut the fuck up, Last of Us. You're not that important of a game. I'm tired of these games having to be like this, deep philosophical. No, just be a fucking video game. We can discuss in another fucking video. Max Derrick can make another video about the philosophy of a fucking video game. Like, shut the fuck up here. It's just the way I see modern... And again, I'm going to get to the point. This remake is not that special, okay? It's not perfect. It's not... Again, the way I would describe it is that if Resident Evil and Resident Evil Remake were Night of the Living Dead and Night of the Living Dead Remake from 1990, this game is the Dawn of the Dead remake. As where Resident Evil 4 was Dawn of the Dead original, this is Dawn of the Dead remake. Let's add new things and extreme, faster pace, faster, go, extreme. We gotta go, no. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. And I'm gonna be honest with you too. I don't, and again too, it's just enough. I don't care. I don't fucking give a shit anymore to just, to have this fucking deep philosophical thing. Like, Ashley was just there to save, and she wasn't even that bad of a character, okay? And also, I want to talk about the Ada. And again, this game got, more controversy because of certain things in the game. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, yeah, Ada just sound bland. No, Leon, I'm bad. I'm a bad girl. I'm sorry, I prefer the seductors from the original game. So that's just me. What else do I hate about? Again, I know I'm shitting on this game, but god damn, it's just enough's enough, folks. I don't want to hear another fucking. Again, everybody's jerking this game off. They're sucking the dick of the game because it's like, oh my god, it's the best game ever. It's like, dude, guys, we've been in a sea of total dog shit for years, and when some mediocre game comes out that's decent enough to be good, we praise it as the next coming of Christ. Guys, no, it's not. It's mediocre. It's mediocre at best. It's like a little above mediocre. It's nothing to write home about. And by the way, I'm tired of games having really shitty DLC, like unlockables, or DLC that have to buy through a paywall, which I can't earn through the original game. I just can't earn it through just playing the game over and over and over again. No, I gotta buy your shit. Like, again, I had to buy the original soundtrack for this game, which is so much better. Why are more games doing this kind of like dubstep, electronica bullshit? It's, again, I don't understand modern gaming. And then I heard somebody talk about like the older games and say they were like, oh, well, the old games were just trash. It's like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Go play fucking Fortnite, because that's, or Minecraft, which, by the way, Minecraft is such a better game than Fortnite. I fucking do not like Fortnite. It's just what's ruining gaming, along with Madden and every other fucking trend that's going out there. I know, you're an older man. You shouldn't be playing video games. Shut the fuck up. I'd rather be doing this than just, playing golf. But it's just the way it is. It's like, what the fuck? And it's just like, some of this shit's just so, I don't know. And again, it's some of the level designs and stuff like that. It tries too hard to outdo the original, but ends up making the original so much better in comparison. All of them. I mean, Resident Evil 2, 3, and this one make those original games much better. Like, it's kind of like the reverse effect, where Resident Evil Remake outdid the original, but the original is still playable. I say, if you're gonna, I'll talk about the original in another video, but the first Resident Evil game, that didn't try to outdo the original. It improve the original. If you were to play Resident Evil 1 for the PlayStation, it's a fun game. It's an absolute fun game. It's, if you want to be a good game maker, if you want to learn how to make good games, play that game. And also the remake. But this, it's like, the remakes just don't outshine the originals. The originals outshine the remakes. Like, it's an interesting conundrum. And including this one, too. Which I'm going to be getting to another point here, too. I've played this game before, too. And when it was called The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2. Like, The Evil Within did this so much better with the stealth, which is another fucking thing I hate about this game. This game punishes you for trying to be a little bit stealthy. And it doesn't give you an indicator when you're being spotted. Like, you're trying to sneak up on people and, take them out real quick so you can save some ammo. But the game demands you to play it like an action game. Like, oh, wait, you're trying to be sneaky? No, you got to play it like a stealth game. It's like, you can't play it like a stealth game. You got to play it like an action game. Then why did you add stealth to the game? And I know defending the original here and defending that, and it's like, yeah, the original had the stealth section, but instantaneously shit was going to go hit the fan as soon as possible. Why? Because that's what was going to happen. That was going to happen. And again, with how dark and gritty it looks, it just seems so over the top and cheesy. Like, I miss it when environments could be bright, yet it's also kind of unsettling. Like, hell, Resident Evil 2 example. When you first meet the Licker, that hallway is lit brightly. And again, also, everything about that, too. There wasn't any rain, which I honestly like the idea of that not having any rain, because all these games are trying hard enough to outdo the original, and the originals keep shining through. Because, again, with Resident Evil 2, I know I'm going off topic here, there was no rain in the original. The original just... I guess I gotta fucking do this. The original was just what it was. It was just no rain. It was just the wind, especially in that one court area. If you've ever played the original Resident Evil 2, there's an area where it's the upstairs and the downstairs. Like, it's the outside corridor where it reaches up to that one area. It's just quiet. It's just this. You just hear the wind and the moan of the undead outside. That's haunting. But in the remake, it's rain. It's rain, darkness, scary. It's like it's trying way too hard to be scary, and it just comes off being bland. So yeah, my thoughts on the original. I think the original is a classic. Like, it deserves the praise it does get, and I fuck anybody who says the other games are trash. You're trash for saying that. So fuck you. Go play fucking Fortnite. Go get your shine box. And for people who love the remakes, good for you. Fucking, you have it's okay to have an opinion like that. You just have. It's okay to have the wrong opinion, even though if it's trash yourself. What else? What else? Oh, but the degradation of Leon. Like, especially when you meet Krauser for the first time. Like, he treats him like again, calls him rookie. Everybody degrades him because, he's a white male. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is, like, again, why I hate modern gaming storytelling. It's because the SJW, LGBTQWX, and Anita Sleestack ruined gaming because we can't have any fun anymore, and everything has to be realistic, and realism has just fucking poisoned gaming in my mind. Nothing is fun anymore, and it's just how I just see it. So, alright. I think I've spoken long enough. My final verdict, yeah, the original is so much better. Sorry, I'm not sorry, but that's how it is. So, alright. See you next time.